And we are live. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Deric Bumper. I'm the host of the UpBus podcast. I have the pleasure of having with me Frederick as well as Lou. We've got the Subprime Hero and the CarGuy. These two are the hosts of the CarGuy Coffee podcast. I've got the links in the description for Instagram, Facebook, and of course their website. And you can find them on, I think, Apple Podcasts too, right?
Oh, everywhere. You name it, we're there.
Yep. So I'm gonna stop talking. I want you guys, introduce yourselves. Kind of tell us a little bit about you guys, where you're from, and how you kind of came into the car business.
Wow, man, it's definitely different being on this side of the microphone, and I'm having a good time tasting what it is that we're serving up. So I'd be glad to take that, Mr. Subprime Hero. I am Lou Ramirez. I am the car guy. I am a father to 4 and many, many others. And I am the husband to 1, and I serve a great God. And I'm a co-host here on the CarGuy Coffee podcast, and enjoying being a guy that always tries to find a way to smile, have a good time, brew a solution, always drinking coffee, and trying to make sure to spread as much love and fun as possible.
Some love.
That's basically, I mean, if you listen to the CarGuy Coffee podcast, folks, you understand I am going to talk a lot, so I'll zip and then I'm just going to pop like a balloon. There's no holding it back once I go. But I am also right here with one of my best friends on the absolute planet, and we are brewing solutions as a team. And I am so excited because I am who I am, just me, but I am so much better being battle buddied up with another incredible individual right here, which is the Subprime Hero, Fred Lenartz.
Yeah, well, we both started a business around the same time. I am Fred Lenartz. I'm the Subprime Hero. I am the co-host of the CarGuy Coffee podcast, like he mentioned a few times. Plugs there. Thank you. But anyway, honestly, it's a great honor to be on your show, man. The UpBus. I've been following you. You're doing some great stuff too, and I absolutely love the message that you're putting out there. Yes. I see nothing but future growth for you. But to talk about myself, which I don't, normally have to do that much, so it's kind of weird. So I usually like to praise people, but for me, my mission that we started this with was to help people. We're doing all this is to share ideas with other people in our industry, other people who are in sales, other people who are looking to grow. Get those ideas, put them together, and see if we could put together something that is magical that everybody can use and do it the right way. So there's a lot of car guys, as you know, Deric. There's a lot of car guys out there that are not really car guys. There are people that are just shooting in the eyes closed, just hoping they hit stuff. They're out there, burning ups. They're the whole nine. We know we can use every term out there, but the fact of the matter is, there's a very few percentage of those people out there that are really good at their job, and Absolutely. those people need praise. Those people need to be on our shows. Those people need to be told and shown how to do things better, and then they could do the same thing for us, because there's always something you can learn from a conversation. Whether it's something good or bad, you're going to learn something from a conversation with somebody. But the idea is the idea of our show, and the idea of just like your show, is to get together with a lot of people and just share ideas. And then these ideas become ours, everybody's, and then everybody who's doing what we're doing right now can grow and get better at what they do. We started selling cars about 17, 18 years ago. I'm a year longer than Lou. He came into the business. We started at a Mitsubishi store. It was a lot of fun. And it was a Mitsu Hyundai store, actually.
And Mitsubishi Hyundai.
And Isuzu, yeah, man, that's old school. So you're talking. It was a lot of fun. We learned subprime really fast during that time. So pretty much it's been part of our DNA in the car business the whole time we've been doing business. We serve everybody. It's not just subprime. We serve. I mean, to me, it's easy to serve the 800s. Those are done deals. You don't even have to go submit anything. It's done. Subprime, you have to do a little investigation, a little work.
You got to work.
Right, little background check, prove some stuff, right? So we're so accustomed to that, it's our DNA. It's just normal. So I don't understand the struggle that other places have with subprime. So that's another thing we're trying to put out there. That's why I have the Subprime Hero tag. I'm trying to make it to where it's not a problem. People need to quit looking at subprime as a bad thing. It's actually a great thing, because those people one day, if you coach them the right way, will become prime for you one day. And then guess what? They're going to come see you. Guess who they're going to send every time they have somebody who needs to buy a car? They're going to come see you. They're going to make sure that they take care of you, and just like if you take care of them during, before, and after the sale, it's the only way to treat a person. So anyhow, that's just a long story. We sold cars for a long time. We were on the road, that's my message, but we were on the road for a long time. We traveled at staffed events. I helped doing marketing. I sold advertising. I did stuff like that. Lou was a closer on the road. He was a team leader. He did everything that anybody out there could do.
Set up the party.
Right. So when we turned around after so many years, and we both were like, our kids are getting older. We want to come home. So we decided to take spots at local dealerships. And when we did, it blossomed, man. You're talking massive.
Blow it up.
Oh, man. Yeah. You know, we used everything we learned from all over the country, just like I'm trying to do with the show. And it turned into something magical. I mean, you're talking doubling. I mean, over 100% year over year. I mean, it was like unbelievable and so much fun doing it. You know, teams growing and you know, and using it all on a radio advertising marketing. That's it. It was unbelievable. A lot of fun.
But with that, what we really actually were the agents of is the station that set up shop for what it is that we're on right now. UpBus. Okay, you have to have a station set up in order to harness in the people that are coming through. Those that are trying to get on the bus and those that the UpBus is getting stopped at need to have a place to make that transition on and off the bus. And we always set up the processes, the way that things are going to go. And we did that everywhere. We did that whether it was an Acura store or whether it was a trailer sitting on a gravel lot. It didn't matter.
Anywhere we went, everywhere we went.
We would be in the Walmart parking lot and have all of the best vehicles that an entire dealership would have. And we would produce what it is that they do inside of maybe a couple of good months. We would do that inside of 5 days and have everybody high-fiving and loving life.
That's huge, man.
And make sure that they collected a check at the end.
Well, you know, but but it was fun too.
Real Don Ready, it sounds like from the goods, like y'all.
Yeah, you know it. I had that car. My car said, "What do you do?" I sell cars. That's what I do. But you know, we've actually, that's the crazy thing. You know, we went through all that. We came to the store, you know, and he's talking about, we went over all over the country. We had a lot of fun. You know, we brought positivity. Those dealerships got better because we were there. We taught them new ways to do stuff. We brought all this knowledge, put it in their store. So over a period of time, their store didn't really need us anymore, which was not a big deal. They still called us. It's always good to get a little shot in the arm every once in a while to get your dealership number up, you know, every quarter or so often. But plus they liked us because we always did business the right way. You know, Adam Marburger was somebody we had on our show. I don't know if you know who he is. You should try to get to know him, man. He'd be somebody great to have on your show too. He's the president of Ascent Dealer Services. He's also one of the best finance guys I've ever met, and I think I'm the greatest. You know that, and we all do. Every one of us we do, and that's the best mentality. As long as I always understand, there's more to learn. But you know, that being said, he's amazing. But yeah, he's a good person to get on the show. Also, I think you should talk to him, but not to plug him. But yeah, he's definitely.
Quick question for you guys. Like, since, you know, I know you're Fred, you're the subprime hero, man. Why do you think, you know, like, what's the stigma about subprime? Like, why are folks run away from it? Especially as, you know, things with this COVID-19, a lot of folks are losing, you know, their jobs and things are going to get worse. Like, I think that as a culture, you know, as an industry rather, we should really embrace that and put more process in place to smooth that transition, because it's hell right now for a lot of folks to get approved. You know what? And you're 100%. All those things you just touched. You know, people being on furlough, people losing their jobs, businesses shutting down, the whole nine, and having subprime credit on top of that. How difficult is that for a person? You know, and that's the difference between somebody who's doing it and somebody who's not is really, honestly, laziness. And I hate to use that word. Maybe I need to put the word away. Slight ignorance. That's a bad word too. I don't mean to use derogatory words towards that. They just don't understand the process. It's very simple. It starts from the top. It stops from management. Management has to understand what's needed for those deals, right? From the desk guy working the deal to the salesperson after that, understanding what steps to collect so they can get paid and get paid in a timely manner. Also, the dealer can get paid in a timely manner also. But once you get all that stuff together and you have everybody understands the process, I mean, I'm talking everybody. So when the finance guy has a deal, it's pretty much a done deal. All you got to do is package, make copies, send it, boom, boom, boom. You get funded, you know, within 48 to 72 hours. But most places don't want to do that. They just want the one where you don't have to prove anything. You just get a copy of their insurance card, copy of license, and done.
I think dealerships have actually, I mean, I was going to share this at some point or another out there, but I think dealerships set themselves up for that. The same way that they set up a business plan, they create their avatar that says that it needs to be this person that has a streamlined financial setup.
Sure.
And it does not include the person that it takes to chase down a person proving that they are who they are.
Sure.
And because that's the avatar of so many dealerships that don't want to set their business practice up to deal with that on the front end, because I'm a front end guy. Those that set themselves up to have that customer then put themselves in a mode where they don't know how to process this money that is green money coming into your establishment.
A lot of green money.
Okay. From all
I'm telling you.
people, from all walks of life. The same people that were 800s 3 months ago, but life hit them with a calamity, and now they don't get the same financing that they used to get. You know what I mean? And they're rebuilding themselves.
Man, they're so appreciative.
All kinds of people fall into the subprime, but because a dealership doesn't go fishing for that particular kind of fish, they don't know how to process it, to fillet it, to prepare it, and to package it where it needs to go. Not every market's going to buy tuna. Some other markets sell salmon. And in order to, if you're saying you're only going to go out fishing for salmon, well, then you don't know what to do inside of the waters that it takes to get tuna. But no matter what, we're all finding out that right now we got to eat.
Man,
got to go for it, man.
But that's the thing, right now, after this whole thing that's just happened, there's going to be way more subprime, way more of that business. So that is a huge market share that's going to be happening. Banks are going to adjust. I've seen some already adjust. Capital One, they're allowing furlough pay. They're like, if as long as they can prove that they work somewhere else and they're currently getting furlough pay, we're going to go ahead and do those deals. And that's just one bank. I mean, that's just a bank that most people know across the nation, the Capital One. Okay, so. Come on, people. I mean, it's something you have to do. Subprime business is appreciative business. It is first pencil business, and I don't mean that in a wrong way, but they appreciate it so much if you just show them a little respect. I have seen more times than not, people come to my store. They've been to 5 different stores. All right. I live right outside the Louisville area. Our store is probably 40 miles south. Most of my people drive about an hour to come buy cars because they go get their credit pulled and they never get submitted to any bank at all. They come to my store. I see credit pulls at the bottom of the bureau, and I see that they go to this lender or this bank or this dealership. I'm going to do everything but what I need to say. And then you'll see nothing but dealership names. You never see a subprime lender put in there. You never see any of this stuff. I submit it, get them approved. They buy a car. They're just like blown away. They're like, I should have drove this hour a long time ago. I understand that they don't want to drive an hour between where my store is and where they are. It's like 30, 40 different dealerships.
But that's huge. That speaks highly of what y'all do for people, though, the fact they will travel. I think one of the big misconceptions, too, with subprime is the fact that, at least the way I was always taught coming to business was, they're not loyal. You know what I'm saying? That type of customer isn't loyal. They're just looking for the first person to get them done. However, what I found is when you treat them with respect and treat them like people, like I'm not a big fan of calling folks, bogues, roaches. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. Like every time I do
people.
Yeah. Exactly. One of the biggest things I learned when I first came in was, a guy now by the name of Phil. I was with Group One when I started. And he always focused on we're in the people business. We just happen to sell cars. And when you have that mentality, you treat folks with respect, regardless of what the credit score is, boom. You know what I'm saying? You can become that guy. Because you may not be able to get them done. Maybe they got too much going on, but they've got friends, they've got family members. And once you get inserted into their, into that group, that niche, it's a hit all day. Absolutely.
And there's no doubt. And that's such a fact. And everything about that. If you treat everybody that walks on the lot like a millionaire, like that you want their business so much and you're going to give them a bottle of water, you're going to get them a cookie, you're going to do whatever it takes to make them happy. You're going to pull the car around and make it and open up the doors for them and, let them see and, make them feel great. You ask them questions and actually listen. Remember their name. That's huge. That's huge. It's so many. I think I could promise you walk into any given dealership on a busy day and you go to a salesperson, ask them what their customer's name. I'd say 75% won't even know it. That's sad. It's sad, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And if you address it, it gets fixed. When it's put in front of your face, you tend to make it better. So I think that the more we talk about that and we get people to start being more caring and having empathy, this is what this whole new generation is about, man. And I kind of like it a little bit. I like the old school, don't get me wrong, but I do love a lot of this new school mentality. So, it's very good to see people caring about other people. A lot of these new guys I'm working with.
There's a guy that I always think of as well by the name of Damian Boudreaux. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with him. He's partnered with Ali Imbreda, the top car sales guy in the world, right? He's a traveling sales trainer, but I took a couple of his classes, both when I was with Group One and then when I was with him at Mike Bruno, Harley Davidson group out there, and he focused so heavily on that, just about relationship selling. And I think that's truly what's required, especially with social media being such an integral part of our sales process. You just got to have it. The way you kind of break through the noise and overcome that, in my opinion, the first and most important objection that most customers have, which is, I don't trust you. I don't like you. You're one of those car guys, right? It's by building that relationship. And social media has been such a huge way to do that by just, showing people that you're a regular person, that you're a good person, a wholesome person, like most, car salesmen are.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And really deep down, I think it comes down to management training. When you walk in a store, the culture is where it's all at. Now you can come into a store with a horrible culture and become a good guy because you are a good person, but it's hard. You usually become what you're around. You always say that's that saying, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future, basically what you're going to be, so that's the same thing at work. It's kind of hard. So you got to get together with good beans and you got to blend with good beans. And when you do, it tends to make your flavor better. You know what I mean? So, coffee little, smell that? Had to throw that in there, but it's true. I've been very fortunate. The first guy that ever taught me my 10 steps, taught me how to shake a hand and make a grand. This guy taught me the right way. He taught me it was basically the new way, the way it should have been before then. He was just very clever with it and just made us process it a different way than other people, understand the rhetoric of having to talk to a customer and just understanding what just looking really means. You know what I mean? So it's all that,
But he also did something key that we forget to make sure we're doing to other people. And because as trainers or people that become successful at doing a thing good, they then want to make sure that everybody knows how good they do it, rather than looking somebody else into the heart, into the soul, into the deepest parts of them to say, you have it inside of you too. You can do this. You can be successful at this. And that resonates within them to where they actually turn over and believe that they can be successful at it too, and they can do it the right way. So many people have taught people how to be successful in especially our business by doing it the wrong way, which is why it's been, in a lot of cases, what's been reaped into a bad stigma on us. Was I not on?
You were. I think you could hear you, but through my mic though. But I just realized I was like, man, I don't hear you through my headset, so that's why I just clicked it on real quick. Man. But sorry about that, folks.
But to end all of that, being with good beans inside of this business is a key piece of creating what it takes to cook up what is successful and what is truly uplifting to this business. We are not we're not in this alone, and we all are better when we find a way to brew a solution rather than being scared of the different types of problems other people have, including our customers.
Right.
Because right now, a lot of people have the same problem, and we all need to find a way to rise up in the midst of it. So doing that, it's incredible that we take the experiences that we have before and be excited about making the new connections that it takes to get moving forward. Why I'm so excited to just anytime we have somebody else that we're even having a meeting with or a conversation just like this, a nice conversation and a cup of coffee, it's uplifting when you know that there's other brothers that are with you on the same mission to do the best that we can inside of the field that we've been given, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's and it comes down, like we talked about, it comes down to when you walk in and if you have good leadership, and speaking of leadership, I know that's something that we wanted to touch on. To be a good leader, what is that? And I'm sure that's something that you're interested in because you're obviously a leader yourself, Deric, and I could tell. You definitely, I don't know if it comes from the military background, but you have that in you. You know what I mean? We all have that. People who have that in them, they should use it, and don't be ashamed of it. Use it, and the thing about it is, there's something that people have. It's where even when things aren't good, you still find a way to find the light in it and share that with your team. You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest things. You can't, a bad leader that's always negative is very difficult to get behind and follow. I've had those leaders in my past, for a very short amount of time and was done with it. I was like, can't do it. Bad. I don't like black cloud, as we used to call it. Don't get in the black cloud area.
Which is contagious, man. It's even more contagious than a positive attitude,
It always is.
I think I posted something on Facebook the other day. I was talking about basically like, it's so easy in this world, the way we're programmed, it's so easy to be negative. That's the easy part. You have to consciously fight and push to remain in a positive mindset, especially when it comes to sales, because we hear no and we hear so much negativity all the time. You got to fight that, keep that positive mindset. Quick question for you guys, actually, on leadership. From y'all's experience, what does it take to be a good leader? For our listeners or our watchers out there who are maybe new to management or just in a role when they're struggling, what advice can you give to them to, kind of improve their team, kind of change that culture in the dealership to make it more productive?
Well, the first thing I'll say, obviously besides
that's a big question.
Well, positivity is obviously a thing, but let's, if you're a positive person, the next thing is honestly is to lead by example. You can't just tell people to do stuff and not having any idea how to do it. You need to know the processes from top to bottom. Everything from how they're catching ups to how their actual word scripts are. You need to know those word scripts. You can't sit there and expect your guys to know it if you don't know it. So I always believe that if I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to be the guy. If I can't do it, I'm going to learn how to do it. And just like if they can't do it, I'm going to show them how to do it. I'm going to show them so many times, but there's only so many times you can bring a horse to water. Eventually they're going to have to learn to drink it, or they're just going to, have to go find a better way to get successful than selling cars. But, but at the same time, that's the key. It's really to lead by example. If there was one thing I'd say you need to have, is you have to lead by example. You can't just sit back and drink your coffee and tell somebody, hey, go catch that up. Oh, you can't
have that type of manager out there.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. If they can't catch that up, go out there with them. If it's a new guy, don't expect. It's cool to have a team where other people can go show them the ropes, but go show them the ropes yourself to earn their respect real quick. I
think that means so much more too when you have a GM or a GSM that's willing to step out there and yo, I'm saying, I'm desking deals. Hey, that customer's running. Let me go chase that guy too. That just uplifts everybody. I think I've had maybe 3 managers who've done that. The one I remember most is Casey McGraw. I think he's a dealer principal now for Lithia Springs Volkswagen. Last time I checked, but
that's why he is.
Oh, that was some old school stuff. I'd never seen anything like it. Dude cussed me out. I'm a rookie on the floor. Cussed me out, man. I'm over like, man, I'm trying to. What can I do? He's like, where is he at? All right, boom. And went out there and worked this magic and got him in there. I was like, boom. I'm saying? That's how I learned how to sell and close, because I'm watching, someone I highly respect do it. Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think, Lou? What do you think about kind of changing the culture?
Making sure that at heart, just like us in the military, at heart, everybody remembers exactly why we're there. The why is tied up inside of so many others, but it lines up with the who you're working for right now. Why are you here? In the military, we were constantly reminded of why we're doing this mission. The mission constantly changed. There was a new challenge every day. There was a new way to go through something. There was protocol for so many of the challenges we ran into, but that protocol always set us up to succeed with the challenges that we ran into. You know what I mean? But we always took on those challenges in a unified way. No matter what, we were the badge that was on us. You know what I mean? And it wasn't whether it said Army or Air Force or anything. We were US. You know what I mean? We were one color. We were one brand with so many other people. Yeah. But we always were successful because we knew why we were there. I'm here because of my child at home. I'm here because I love my country. I'm here because, I want to make a difference. We all knew the why. Inside of this moment that we're in right now, making sure that we have leadership that is trying to say, hey, this is how you do it. This is what I want done. This is how you do it. Now let's do it together. It's so key that we have leaders that are leading by example. And then at the end of that song is the, hey, here's the underlining piece of it, because all of this mission that we're doing, all the mundane stuff that we like, love, hate, want to do, don't want to do, and then reap the benefits of, no matter what, we need to know why we're doing it. And as long as that's always in front of us and in front of the forefront of our mind of where we're flying, I think that's always going to get things to turn around. And the season that we're in right now, people are having to figure out, why did I even do that? Why was I so concerned about doing this? Why was I so caught up in spending money on that, this, that, and all of these other things? Why did I do that? Oh, I don't need to do that. And why am I going to raise up? And why am I going to do better? All of those questions are being asked now. And I think if we tell, like we tell our guys every day, hey, look, you know how much money you made today? man, that's why you made that phone call while you had to shut the door while your kid was crying. You know what I mean? That's why you took that phone up right now, because they're processing some loans, you know what I mean, or some applications from home. You know what I mean? They got to remember why they're doing it, why they're taking that up. That's always made me successful, because a lot of times I was a knucklehead. You know what I mean? But when I remembered the why I was there, that was always key in helping me succeed. And my why generally is what continuously fires up any success I have.
That's
but
right.
inside of that, I think that's what's key for us to be able to click forward. And militarily speaking, everybody had a different why, but the Army came together and completed a unified goal and
achieve that mission. Absolutely.
Right. So, but that's just
right there. Right, yeah.
So I got a lot of salesmen out there that are constantly asking me, what does it take to get to the next level? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're a top producer, but for whatever reason, maybe they've been passed over, or maybe they're just missing some key thing, but they want to make a career out of the car business. They want to move forward and, get to that management, get to the desk, maybe get to the, to the box, get to the finance office.
Well, that's a great question. That is a great question. I don't mean to cut you off. That's a great question. I think we're both carrying at the claws to answer that. So, the thing about, all of us, we once were salespeople on the floor. We once were those guys wanting, how do we get there? And then first thing I would do is I would talk to my management and ask them what it takes to get there, because every group's going to have a little bit of different process. Sometimes I hire from within, sometimes I hire from outside. So you may have to get your resume up in other ways, Sometimes they require degrees. I don't understand that. I don't think it requires any kind of degree.
Never made sense to me.
Nah, never does, never has, and never will. But it doesn't.
But in that, I feel like we got a degree in being awesome.
I got a PhD in this.
Fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think we are definitely always having fun, and we are professors in that.
But the thing is that, for one, you got to have some gusto. You have to be less selfish. You have to be a person that understands that it's everybody that you have to help. You can't just think about yourself when you're working deals. When you're a salesperson, you have to deal with, the average person, 10 up to 30 cars, let's say a month, right? So that's all you have to touch. But as a manager, you're touching all of them. And that's every salesperson, every personality, that's every customer's issue, that's everything that's coming along with it. So understand what you're actually wanting to get into, okay? That's first, and then find a mentor. Mentors are everywhere. Mentors are in your dealership. Mentors are online. I have people always hit me on the side. Hey, I got a question for you. I'm always honored to answer those questions. It means a lot when someone even wants to ask me something like that. So I can assure you, I'm not the only one who is willing to do that for people. So get mentors, ask them how they did it. For me and Lou, we took chances. When a person walked on the lot and there was a customer issue, did I bring it to my boss? Heck no, I took care of it. That shows initiative, right? That's number one. If you want to start with something, don't every time a customer has a problem, go to your boss. What do I do? You're never going to be a manager that way. You have to take initiative and try. Maybe you mess up, but you're going to try. Give it some shots. Phone calls come in to understand how to take phone calls. Once again, learn all the processes from bottom to top. But it takes extra work. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. As anybody who's taken a management job, it ends up becoming where you're there all day long. You can't leave early. Your family, you're going to miss some time with the family, maybe miss a game or two. It's not, you can't just say, hey guys, I'm going to be gone for an hour. Let's shut the dealership down for an hour while I go try to watch my sons as much as I want to. But I understand that it's a team. I'm helping them pay for their kids' basketball too. And I'm helping this guy's family be able to go on vacation next month. I'm helping, what I mean? I'm trying to do all this. And that's what it takes. A little less selfishness, a little initiative, find you a mentor, understand what you're trying to do. And if you could do all four of those things, I think you'll get there quicker. But if you don't, but you may find that's not what you want to do. You may find I want to do something completely different, and look for it, But the thing is management is not easy, but it is so rewarding when you see your team grow. You see people get, go from couldn't even understand how to talk to somebody to, making more money than they could ever imagine, and coming to you at the end of the month, it's like, hey, I appreciate you, stuff like that. It's awesome, and I appreciate them because they're doing that for me. We all work together. Without them, I don't have anything either. I have a great team. I'm very fortunate, but and so is Lou. But we built that team. We've made that team.
We sowed those seeds.
We
grew what it was that we were sowing into. And
I love, that's what I love about the car business, because so oftentimes you see folks who are maybe working at McDonald's or working at some little whatever place, minimum wage, and they come in just with just with hustle. Just, you know what, I want to change my situation. I think there was one guy I met named Jay, actually, one of the most naturally gifted salesmen I ever met. And he came into the business, literally, this was his interview. I heard y'all get to the money down here. Look, this is the only suit I got, but if you hire me, I will do everything I possibly can if you just show me the way. And no BS, his first month made $8,000. And I love stories like that. I love that. Killed it.
I love that story too, man. That is amazing. And that's the kind of guy you want.
That's this business.
That is this business.
That's what this business can do for
it. It's an amazing business. And, it's kind of funny, and I'm sure you've seen this too. A lot of times the new guys, because they keep it so simple and they don't know, all the lingo yet, and they don't get what's bad credit, what's good credit. They treat everybody like a millionaire. You know what I mean? They literally go out there and they tear it up. They're like, it's unbelievable what they can do. But then they start to get a little bit, I know everything. And then we all been there. I'm guilty. Yeah. I was there too for a little bit, So we get there and then we realize, guess what? I got a whole lot of learning left to do, and that's the thing. 17, almost 18 years here in the business. And I'm telling you, I'm always learning every day. I'm learning stuff from guys been in the business 2 years, 1 year, 2 months, 20 years, 30 years. I'm trying to find it all. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself, man. And I think if anybody tries to do that, and they really do, and they try to grow every day, man, it's unbelievable.
I think that's huge. My fire chief once told me when I told him I was switching from the fire service to come over to the car business, he's like, keep the same mentality I put into you here. If you focus on learning every day, you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something we all have to incorporate ourselves. If you do, and I think most successful people actually have that mentality, learn every single day. I'm never going to be the master at this. It's constantly evolving. I have to evolve with it. Lou, what are your thoughts, brother, for the new folks out there, rising through the ranks?
3 F's.
3 F's.
Forgive yourself. Forgive anybody that's wronged you. Forgive anything that you feel as though has been a hurdle inside of your life. Forgive that. Get that off you. Get the weight of unforgiveness off of you. Take those hands that are now free and focus. Get a unified focus to be able to go where it is that you're at heart designed to go.
Yeah.
Forgive, focus. And once you focus and you determine what heights it is that you want to go to, what it is that you actually want to achieve, now zoom all the way in on it, whether it's on a Zoom phone call, on a Zoom meeting, or
with your binoculars.
Right there we go.
UpBus
on the UpBus. Zoom in on the UpBus.
Zoom in on where it is that you're wanting to go, and then release and fly. Let everything that you've done to prepare yourself inside of your focus sessions to then come underneath you like wind as you trust everything else that you put into place, and you fly. You forgive, you focus, and you fly.
Yep.
But your focus is what you most have to fight for. It's so easy to get pulled back into a place of unforgiveness. It's so easy to be pulled back into a place of self-doubt. It's so easy to be pulled into a corner where you're afraid to try something new. It's so easy to go into those moments. It's so easy to not build that relationship with that next vendor because you don't forgive the other one. It's so easy for all that to happen. It's so easy for people to not take another up because the last person that pulled up inside of that car, you know what I mean, treated them like garbage. You know what I mean? I'm not taking that up again, or they never buy. You know what I mean? It's so easy to act that way, no matter what level you look at it on. Professionals, leaders. Leaders are always good followers as well. Make sure that you learn how to forgive, focus, and then it is so immeasurable what heights you can fly to.
Yeah.
Apply that to your life each and every day. Make sure that that's something that you actually at heart choose to do. And I'm telling you, you're going to be successful no matter what, because you're not carrying the weight of unforgiveness and failure. You're actually allowing that to be something that propels you forward. You know what I mean? If you don't have a crosswind, it's hard for you to make a boat go in any direction that you want it to go into. But no matter what wind comes, you just need wind and you're going to flow. So it may not come from the direction you planned on it coming from, but you better find a way to manipulate that wind to take you where you need it to go. And I hate to use the word manipulate, but because it's used in such a bad bad context in many times, you know what I mean? But there is a way to airbend and to work what it is that you have. You know, we work our programs, we work our deals in a way that is the most successful for the customer, for the dealership. We work that like a potter does clay. You know what I mean? We manipulate that clay into what it is we need it to form into while it's on a spinning wheel. You know what I mean? We put that together. I mean, these cups went through a process of being spinned, burned, shaped, put into what they needed to be into until they now are worth, they have the ability to carry something.
Right.
Well, if you actually want to take on something new and take on higher heights, you can't carry the weight of unforgiveness. You don't see birds flying around with giant weights on them. You know what I mean? They have what it takes for them to survive, to eat, and usually feed others. Well, that's what we need to do as we kind of fly together.
That's right. You know, you can't, you really have to like realize no matter how bad you did yesterday or how bad you did on the up you just took before, it's okay. Wipe it off. Next. You know what I'm saying? I learned that from Mark Tuart. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Mark Tuart. He's a trainer. He's been doing it for a long time. And I was a young guy. I was probably a year in the business. And I went to a training meeting and he was like, when you're catching up, it doesn't go good. Don't worry about it. Just say next. And you know what? I've thought of that my whole life since that whole career since then. I'm always like, you know what? And if you do it enough, you new guys, if you talk to enough customers, eventually a no is not a bad thing. You're starting to get used to it. You know that every no that you hear, eventually you're getting that much closer to a yes.
Yes.
Stop taking it personal, you know?
And if you're the honest guy who did everything right, who worked hard, got them that water and treated them like $1 million, even if they didn't buy a car and they decide to go search, they're going to come back because you'll probably be the only one who did it. I'm telling you, I wasn't joking about my stats. Been across the country. I'm going to tell you, most people don't do what they're supposed to do. So, you know, that's what you do. You do what you're supposed to do every single time. It'll come back to you tenfold. Trust and believe. And, you know, but you have to take chances to be a leader. You have to take that. You can't be scared of taking chances. You have to be excited about taking chances. You have to be all that. Because if you're scared of the unknown, then you're probably not going to be a good.
You can't fly. You can't fly if you're scared.
Because everything's the unknown. A second from now is unknown. You know what I mean? Nothing is known until it becomes that moment.
I agree wholeheartedly with that because I know personally with my journey, I wasn't in the car business for too long. I think it was 9 months. I only think it was 9 months before I got promoted to internet manager, and it was because I took a chance on social media. You know, when I kind of was starting to get into the car business, pretty deep. Everybody hated it. Nobody used Facebook. It was just, it's never going to work, man. You're never going to be able to sell cars using that stuff. Stop wasting your time. I know you guys remember where, should you get in trouble? Like, I think I got wrote up so many times for trying to do a live video or trying to, work my Facebook, to, create relationships. But because I took that chance, resulted in, me being a guy that a lot of people ask advice for. How do I get my dealership on social media? How do I, for my salesmen, how do I get them going and get them to produce opportunities? So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Taking risks is a huge part of it. Another thing that Lou, well, actually both of y'all touched on too is like when it comes to sales, like the reason why I always come back to it, because I'm not sure about y'all, but I think everybody has tried to leave, but then you end up getting kind of brought back into it, right? It's that you learn so many life lessons. Like I talk to my wife all the time. She's like, you're always comparing it to the car dealership. And I was like, you don't understand, like it's life lessons that we want. Like to be a good salesman, it's just, all about life lessons, being a good person, treating people the way you want to be treated. Like, does that make sense, guys?
Oh, 100%. You're speaking my language right there.
Well, there's an element from the direct car sales that Fred did dispatch himself from as well. He was inside of mail, so it took you weren't taking ups for a little bit.
It was for the automotive business though. Okay, I was selling sales and selling advertising,
but I never came out of sales. I transferred over to business to business on the cellular side and also insurance. I was a quacking Aflac guy for a little while, and I was killing it. I was doing great. The thing about insurance is you definitely have to have a big track record before you really can see the great rewards of the residual income that you're making. A lot of that money is made way post it actually it's not like a car deal. You're getting paid by payday. You know what I mean?
It's a long-term kind of deal.
Right. Difference inside the car business. So you go from one lifestyle to another. And it was like, hey, no, I can go to a sale right now and produce a month's worth of income based off of what we're comparing to right now. Let's switch. And then, And then I did. And then I came in hot. I came in like really flying hard. I took over a Nissan store, had some fun there, launched that, got that moving in the right direction, and then made the shift over to the dealer for the people and really got to stretch my creative potential out because it was also, we turned into a media marketing team. With the first time we hit the television, first time we started actually putting our owner out there. You had these new set of guys that are, you know, turning on the circus every day, you know what I mean, are making it fun every day. I'm ready to go. Let's do a crazy commercial. All right, bet. Here we go. Cameras on. Boom.
Oh yeah, we just had fun, man.
And literally became a whole other dynamic. I love the guys that we're with now. We love the owner that we're with. He's helped us so much. But the thing that I honor most is that he's given us the leeway to be us.
Yes.
To, you know, we don't have to be him and do it every way that he says to do it. What we have to do is help that person that needs that vehicle. When he looked me in the face and going over my pay plan, and we went through stuff, and he told me to my face, hey, we can't do it on everybody, Lou. But if we need to lose a little to take care of this person, and you know at heart that they need another vehicle,
that's huge.
We'll be fine. Do the numbers, and it's like
facts.
Yes, this is the man that I want to do this job for. You know what I mean? Let's go. And so having that type of a leader or a mentor and a person then empowering you, saying, "Oh yeah, you got an idea? Great. Let's throw it in. Try it. Let's go. Holy cannolis, that worked. Man, that was fun." You know what I mean? And then that becoming the way that our culture was, it just continued to build a better family, but then success followed it. You know what I mean? Because at heart, he was able to team up with somebody that had his vision and his safety and his protection, and his why understood. He was a dealer for the people that wasn't just selling cars, but solving transportation problems. That became a different mantra that we all resonated with. And we grew with that.
We did. It's a blessing. I see you got Benji on here.
Yeah. So this is my first time streaming to YouTube. So this is kind of new for him, but yeah, apparently we got a YouTube comment. So that's dope. But Benji asked, hey guys, you know, liking the podcast, what are your opinions on when the quarantine should be lifted? So that's a big question for all of us, because it's affecting a lot of businesses out there. I'll let you guys kind of, you know, run into it first.
You know, obviously the quarantine, as a car guy, I went it like yesterday. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, I've come to realize during this time, because our doors are locked, they can't come in the showroom, but we've been able to do curbside at-home deliveries. We've been able to do all that type of stuff. So the advantage of the doors being open is huge. I mean, it's going to be gigantic. So the sooner the better. Do I think that we need to just open it up and let the floodgates happen? No, we need to make sure we have processes in place. Okay, that's key. You need to make sure that you have masks, that everybody has masks, and ones that they can replace the next day. You can't just have a mask they can wear every single day. It has to be disposables, so on and so forth, so you know that it's always sanitized. Make sure all work areas are clean. Make sure your team understands to be 6 feet away from them when showing vehicles. But we get to have them in our showroom, folks. I'm excited about that. Now, I know to some people it's scary. You know, New York had huge numbers. Us in Kentucky were a little different, so I really can't make a judgment for other places that have had a worse situation than us. But here, it's not great. I mean, one death is horrible. One case is horrible, right? So I'm not going to ever downplay what's going on. I'm just saying that with the right processes in place, you can still be just as safe. You can still be profitable. You can still give a customer a great experience instead of having to try to do it over the phone, which we've done really good with video messaging, video follow-up, all kinds of stuff that we've implemented during this current time. But now we can move forward, and now we can have them in our showroom. We can, you know, do a walk around the vehicle. You know, I mean, that is, you guys don't understand how much that helps. But anyhow, it's so much nicer. And you know, there's great companies out there. Carvana, they're huge, you know, and everybody knows about who Carvana is, and everybody's like, oh, is that going to be the future? I think that they already are the future. It's the now, right? So like that whole process of buying cars and having it at home is going to be something normal. All right. So you need to make sure that after this is over, that you still have those processes available, because you don't want to miss out. Take part of that market. I've been saying it since this all started. I want to start taking over some of Carvana's market. You know what I mean? I want to get into their share a little bit and start to implement that with a person at the dealership that they can actually have. I think that's the advantage. They can have They can have somebody to call and say, hey, I have a problem with my vehicle, or hey, what do I do if my vehicle has a because a lot of people have weird questions. They've never owned a car before. They, their dad always took care of the vehicle and he's no longer around. What do I do now? Do I take it to a service department anywhere, or can I do my own oil changes? We've all heard those questions.
Absolutely.
And when you have somebody that calls a call center and it's not a designated person, which I don't know, if I never bought a car there. I'm assuming they don't have a designated person. It's kind of weird. Right. Maybe that's an idea. Carvana, use it. If you do, always assign one person to those people. Right. So maybe about 30 people, one person gets 30 for a month, and then so on and so forth. But anyway, but that's something that we can offer, the human touch, the touch of you have somewhere local. If you have a problem, we can solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ revolves. I said it the other day on something else. But it's true, man. I mean, to me, that is the advantage of what we can offer if you worked on those processes now, if you have that ready to go, and then open up the doors, allow them to come in. Don't have people where it's packed in like sardines. We're going to put up we already came up with a problem resolution for that. We're going to put a tent outside, start doing outdoor sales. Perfect time of year. So we're going to, if the showroom gets too packed, we're going to have tables that are going to be well far apart. People can work with people out there. We can have barbecue going, whatever, have the food trucks come. We can do a lot of stuff to enjoy being able to do things that are starting to phase into opening again. So I'm excited about that. We're going to have so much fun with it. I think I want the community to be involved.
Do a 10 event.
I'm very, very versed in the 10 events, very versed. So, and it's fun. It's a great time for the customers, for us. It's a different thing to drive by when they see it. They just pull in, all that type of stuff. So
I think, since everybody is tired of being cooped up at home, I think if people are working, then they're going straight to work and then straight home, nowhere else. And when you have something like that with those precautions already put in place where, I can feel comfortable doing what I need to do. I need to get a car and still feel safe. That's huge. I want to touch on that, go a little deeper on that Carvana thing a little bit. A lot of dealerships, it scared the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, when they saw Carvana and the effect it was having on the market, as an industry, I think that we have really always been held back. We're really slow to change. Social media, I think we're just now getting into it when a lot of businesses have made their brand off of it.
Right.
What are things that besides what you've already mentioned, how can we? Because I think what Carvana did, because I've heard a lot of bad stuff about them recently, they didn't do the best execution. But the idea, like you said earlier, this is the now. This is what's happening. This is what people want. How can y'all think the everyday car dealer should take advantage of that knowledge to improve sales? Oh, that was a big question. Sorry.
It's a great question, and I think it's something that needs to be talked about for sure.
Because it needs to be addressed with each and every person that is the one that's moving a product or a process, that it's that individual, you versus Carvana. It's not just the big corporate dealership. It is you are fighting for the attention of that one person that's looking for a car to show that your way of doing it is more beneficial for them and their best interest is taken care of. So when saying how does an entire dealership go with that concept? Well, you train your salespeople, your car buying coaches, your product specialists, whatever the title is of the person that makes the transaction of purchase happen for your dealership, whoever the face is of your store, you are training them to make fans out of their clients so that they're constantly wanting to be part of what it is that you're doing and celebrating your success. That's how other people end up going to your show when somebody explains that experience was great. So you train incredible people at heart that genuinely want to help, how to make sure that people that come are having a consistent experience, like Disney World, you know what I mean? That they have a consistent experience that is becoming and only going to happen with you. Carvana is doing a great job in their marketing. And by all means, they're trying to say to the whole world, that's what they're saying right now, is that this is the new way to buy a car. This is the best way to buy it. This is the cleanest, the safest way. And everybody wants that slogan, right? This is the safest way to buy a car. Absolutely. can do that as well. But what I can also do is actually hear your heart on this, which you can't do with the click of a button. And our commodity has a lot. Carvana is gonna reach for theirs, and they're going to do it. And if I can create the app that competes like with their unit level, I would make it today and tell everybody about it tomorrow. But they are doing that. But my brand, I'm just the car guy. The people that knew me closest, my circle, just need to know me as the guy that gets them their car. Those that know how to get a hold of me are going to call me. That's as simple as any brand could ever have been for anybody. Was in that circle of friends, I'm the car guy. You're calling me. You know what I mean? No matter what it is that I'm doing, and so Carvana wants to say they're going to deliver it to you clean. I'm saying I can do it as well, and I can do what they can't do. And give me a couple moments for me to tell you why. Just like you entertain them in order to ask me about why you shouldn't do it that way. Well, let me tell you how good our process is. And the dealership has to embrace that things are going to have to change, and you're going to have a similar platform or a similar process that achieves your goal as well. You know what I mean? The versatility is so key right now for everybody, whether it's in the finance office or it's on the front lot or it's in your advertisement. If you can't keep advertising on television the same way that you did, and if you don't adapt, you're not going to have what it takes to overcome. But in philosophy wise, I believe that the owners, vendors to the salespeople sometimes run into the same spot that many great people run into. It's that something becomes easy in the way that it's always done. I'm not going to really change it up. But to answer his question on when to open up, it's when you've legitimately found yourself ready and prepared for your maximum preventing of any spread of a virus. When you know that at heart you are prepared, and you've had somebody that can validate that for you, that you trust, you know what I mean? And somebody to brush on, you know what I mean? Saying, okay, so this is what you're doing and you're ready. Okay, this sounds ready. When you know that you're ready, take it on. If you don't have the stuff in place, don't try to fake it till you make it. No. This isn't the time for that. You need to correct.
Write the processes down, show it to everybody.
Right, plain and simple.
Advertise it. That's what we do. That's the other side. When you want to open up, make sure that you tell everybody what you're doing. Let them know how clean your store is. Show videos of that. Show your guys going to their workspaces and doing things. Make it fun. We did one at the very beginning of all this, and it was like we used the So Fresh and So Clean beat and did a little. It was dope. And it was fun. Had a lot of likes, a lot of views. And people knew that we were keeping our stations at where we're supposed to keep it, right? So, and that was before the major lockdown. But yeah, that's exactly it. And the other side is, and I see a question that just popped up, and it kind of goes into that actually, because it was what I wanted to talk about. And the question from Benji, not to read this, is: at what point do you believe technology will beat out human touch? Never.
That's right. Come on, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's now you have to here, and here's what I mean by that. And it's this: I go online, I try to get approved, I get denied. Now I'm going to the next person.
Yep.
You come to me, I try to get you approved. Let's say I can't get you approved, right? I go to you and I'm going to give you a plan on how to get approved. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to treat you once again like a millionaire and be like, look, man, I couldn't do it this time, but here's why. And here's what you have to do over the next 3 to 6 months. And if you do this and you come back and see me, I can work it out. Or B, hey, I just need somebody that's got some credit history and to be a co-buyer on this, if you could find somebody like that, and I will sit here, here's a phone, let's see who you can call right now. Or I just need like an extra 1,000. You have 1,000 today. If you can come up with another $1,000, we got you. A lot of times the computers are not going to know that. They're just going to deny. They're going to see a decline, and then it's on to the next person. So that is the difference between human touch and computer touch. Just so you know.
I think as well, guys, like, as much as the customer thinks they don't want that salesman, you got to think this isn't a small time purchase. You know what I'm saying? What's the average car deal? Like the average price of a car that's being bought in the 20s, 30s, something like that, right? Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not only that, when you throw in that statistic that 80% of internet shoppers, when they actually come into the dealership, end up buying something different than what they selected online.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's huge right there. And why that happens, it's not the salesman being pushy and talking you into something else. It's that, that needs assessment. Hey, what's really going on? What do you really need? You know what? I know you came in for that, but I just want to show you this over here. Maybe you like it. And at the end of the day, the customer's the one who makes the decision. They choose to go with something else because The salesman's here to guide them along the process.
Right.
So my answer to that is, I agree wholeheartedly. It's never going to go away. Now, will we introduce some different processes to kind of make it a little bit more customer centric? Absolutely. We'll use technology for that. Here's a plug for my guy Jason Gerdner out there to Kobe. Big fan of their fan of their software. The text messaging game. I think that's going to be something that everybody, if they aren't already doing, and I know like CDK CRM has a little something like that. But I think everybody's going to be forced to kind of be more customer centric and use platforms and means of communication that the customer wants. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get as much done before they come into the dealership than after.
No doubt about it, man. Technology. See, that's the thing. I embrace technology, no doubt. But will it replace us? No. You need to have a combo. It's great. It's just like we talk about blending with the right beans. When you put things together, it becomes amazing. So technology with a human touch. A technology with that is going to be golden. A lot of people refuse to use social media. They refuse to use text messages. They refuse to do video calls. I mean, I have a hard time trying to get my salespeople to send video follow-ups. I don't understand. I'm kind of like, no big deal. Record a video, press send, happy. But but it's true though. It's that simple. But it's just something that's just sometimes they just need to be taught, shown, and done a few times. I also have I believe in a 90-day thing. Like you have to do things for 90 days to really see major results. Whether you're working out, whether you're starting a new process at work, whether you're starting a new job.
Tell me what kind of guy he is in 90 days, right?
Right.
Oh, he had a great week. He just sold 5 cars.
That's kind of weird that 90 days is our temporary phase until we figure out what you got.
Push through it. Let's see where you're at.
But 90 days is the key. 90 days of doing something. Like a lot of people do something for a week or two and say it doesn't work. Well, guess what? It's because you did it for a week or two.
That's right.
You got to do it for a long time. See consistency. It's like anything else in life.
Just to give a quick echo on Fred's magnificent answer.
Thank you.
There's nothing that's going to replace the human touch. Okay. By all means, it is more. It's better. It's more genuine. A filet mignon is not going to sell as many units as a McDonald's hamburger, but the convenience and the inexpensiveness of the McDonald's hamburger is going to may outsell it. The key is making sure that we actually find a way to embrace how it is that a person receives a message or gets connected to. And if more people that are human can find a way to reach out and touch somebody that way, it's going to always be a better experience if somebody can talk to somebody on the other side. But if you don't know how good that filet is, you will settle for what is convenient. So it's important that everybody makes everybody believe you can have filet. It is possible for you.
No, nothing will. Plus the fact trade-ins, man. I mean, a computer doesn't put extra money in a trade.
No.
We do that. We look at a car, we see it's super clean. I can get rid of it probably pretty quick. I might put an extra $500 to $1,000 in it. It makes it a better deal. It might make it a deal, period. So that is the difference. Little things like that. So
we say that trade-ins.
Trade-in. That's our owner. He's always like, never going to replace us. Trade-ins. Trade-ins. And he's still right though. He's still right.
I mean, he's a real car guy.
Yeah, he knows.
Because when you go to Kelly Blue Book and what I'm saying, that whole option, to buy there, to sell your car to them, they're going to give you pennies on the dollar for what it's actually worth. It's actually person again, that's what it is. So I know both of you guys kind of touched into something with that question. Kind of touched a little bit into branding, like you're the car guy, you're people who know you are always going to come to you. Social media has become like a huge piece of it. Shout outs to some pioneers. My guy, Bowtie Terrence out there, Gabe McDeal out of I forget what group he's with, but and a couple other guys who've really taken it to the next level and blown it up. What are your thoughts on social media? Not just for the dealership, but also as for each salesman and manager branding themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that's a great question, and I absolutely love social media.
Here, I'm gonna alley this one up to you real quick and let him take this one down, okay?
All right, so to the point, that's TikTok. That's TikTok, right? So that's what I mean by that. Social media is amazing. I could tell you if you're not using it as a salesperson, there's free tools for you to advertise yourself. Free tools, free leads, free everything that you could ever imagine. The one thing that I can say is social media, just like the 90 thing I talk about, takes 90 days to get really attention. It took me 90 days. I don't know if you noticed this, but I've only been on social media for 5 months. I've been on LinkedIn for years. I just jumped on Facebook 5 months ago. and I'm crushing the game. And I learned really fast. I'm like, man, it's like a video game. You look, you're trying to get so many views, you're trying to do this. It's all organic. But the key I've noticed is after about 90 days, I started to get the real following, because people realize this guy, whether they like my stuff or not, they realize he's not gone. He's still doing it, because we've all seen it. We've seen the 2 to 3 weekers come in, talk about they're going to do these every day, and then they stop. Right. Yep. I do it every day. I do it multiple times a day. I've added extra stuff every week. I constantly try to find something that is going to be the new thing, or, a tweak something I've done in the past. If you watch my quick brews every single day that I do them, they're better and better. They're cleaner. The editing, it all comes together. Just like your show right now, it looks beautiful. I love the background. I love it all. I am gonna, I'm gonna steal some of this, but that's how nice it is, and I love it. It's great. It works really well. But that's the same thing. The more you're out there, the more people are gonna notice you. You're gonna get haters. I talked about this on a quick brew the other day. Just love them. Because if you're getting hate, it means you're doing something right, and you're doing it all night. And I love it, man, because I'm looking forward to the next one, and I think it's fun. And when you can debate with the hater and actually do it where you're actually saying nothing but love to them, say, man, I feel you. I love you. I hope you're doing well. And, as like Lou said, I'll pray for you. Right. And, and I just, you could throw hate all you want, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I love what I do.
I'm going to forgive, focus,
and fly. But that's going to come with it. But people's biggest problem, I'm going to just say, is that they're worried about what people are going to say. Or am I going to get enough likes? Screw all that.
And I know, actually, it's not only that. Some people have a problem with themselves. I know me. I am so much better behind the camera and editing and creating and making things look great. You know what I mean? And promoting someone else. Right. I much rather load the lips of a salesperson for them to complete the transaction rather than, sometimes run over there and have to find a way to prep myself to look like I'm adult enough to be in front of them. You know what I mean?
I freestyle. I don't care if my hair's a mess, if my beard's all over the place. People like it. They want to see the authenticity.
So sometimes you got to get over that. And that is,
I love it. I at first my first video, I remember I made it and I was like, oh my gosh. I was in my garage. I was building the table that we're sitting at right now. And I was getting ready to, I just sanded it down and I loved it. And I just had this inspiration to do a video. So I put my phone out in front of me and I start to record myself talk. I look back at it and I'm like, oh my God, I look like an idiot. But I posted it. And the reason why I did, because if I didn't, then I probably wouldn't the next day. And I probably wouldn't the day after that. You got to take that step. Once you take that first step, and then you commit to yourself, and I did this whole year. I committed myself to do it at least for a year and see how it goes, right? I'm doing it all the time and I've committed that. And now I'm seeing results. So you guys out there who don't think it works, promise you it sees results. I'm starting to get invited to shows like the UpBus. I'm starting to get, I've been invited to a few other ones. We've hosted some people on our show that I couldn't, people I was looking at like, man, I want to.
I had El Patron on there. That's huge, man.
Oh, and he straight up told us, man, and
it was the most fun.
It was the most fun he's ever had on a podcast. And that was like, dope.
Yeah.
We went for an hour and 40 minutes. Similar that we went for a while, right? And we talked, and he was like, "Let's keep going." It off. And you know how busy El Patron is. Yeah, we had a. I was like, "Look,
that's a blessing. That's a blessing."
But it was, and that's just from work, and I put myself out there to the point where, Rudy was like, "Look, you're out there, man. I see you. I feel you. I want to do your show with you." And now he's all about. He's all about trying to be part of it. He wore a shirt the other day. He was on social media rocking my shirt. It's not the one, but this is Glenn Lundy shirt right here, Rising Grind for Glenn Lundy. I love that dude too. But he's one of my inspirations too, and I will have him on my show, promise you. But then just like I said about El Patron. So, but he was rocking my shirt, the same exact hat I'm wearing right now, same style. He was wearing that all like on 4 or 5 different posts that day. I was like, oh.
Justin Garrick actually was rocking the coffee.
Yeah. And he was a great guest too. That is a rising star. Yeah, I absolutely love that guy. Great. He inspired me to do my lot walks with my guys, and now I do them all the time. And I did this thing called the 5-liner where I walk with the guys. I ask them 5 questions, and introduce them to the world, basically, and that's so people could feel them. And we post it on our dealership website. They get to see who they're dealing with before they come in. This for the guys who are too scared to even do it. I'm like, here, now you're on it. Too late. And I do it. They don't even know you're live. I'm like, it's live. Let's go.
Say something. So,
use it, abuse it, make mistakes. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing it right. You got to keep making mistakes. Because the more you do it, the better you're going to be. So yes, use it, abuse it. Please do. You're missing out if you're not.
You know what, guys? I never ever rewatch a live video. I never do it because I'm super self-conscious, man. Like as soon as I get it out there, I'm like, you know what? Just post. Don't worry about it. It's out.
And I'm sure it was probably dope and good, man. I've seen a few of yours, man. I've seen the ones you're funny. You get your family involved in some of the ones that you've done. You know, I saw that one where I love it, dude. That's what made me notice you. It's not the fact that you're putting out video; it's the fact that you're being you. You know what I mean? That is, people want that. People are like, if people would buy more cars from you because of, you know what I mean? That's just what they see. They're like, oh, man, that's just like me, man. He's at the house kicking it just like I would be. You know, he's not a sleazeball that's going to try to take everything I have. He's trying to take care of his family, just like I am.
I always try, you know, when I'm doing these, because that's, you know, what I do for my company. I travel around and train the salesmen on social media as well as the managers. And I always put a huge emphasis on that. Yes, put your, you know, quote unquote sales posts out there, but you have to put yourself out there as well. Show the stuff that's, you know, not as pretty. You know what I'm saying? You chilling at the house, relaxing, you know, maybe you're out with some friends or something like that. Within reason, don't do nothing crazy. We don't see, you know, drugs or something like that. But you know what I'm saying? Just be yourself, because that authenticity is what connects you to the everyday person. Because again, that number one objection that most people has is, you know, he's that old sleazy used car salesman. I think the picture I always think of is what's his name? Danny DeVito. Absolutely. I was thinking, right?
With the hat on.
That's it. So I was thinking that they always think of that guy, but when you show them, you know, on your personal Facebook page, yo, this is me, this is who I am, it's a hit. I want to give one quick tip out there for the guys. And we do have a question from from YouTube as well. But for those of you who are, you know, a little nervous about social media and trying to break into it, but you want to get some action out of it, the one thing I harp on every single day with every salesman, every manager is your delivery process. And including your social media into that. Whenever you deliver a car, I promise you, if you do this right here, it's going to blow you up. Consistency, of course. Whenever you deliver a car, you simply say to your customer, sir, ma'am, you have a friend or family member that's going to be in the market for a vehicle. Okay. We have referral checks or whatever y'all's referral process is, but most dealerships do have a process to give out checks, right? Say, hey, I want to put some money in your pocket. And I also want to give you another way to contact me should you have any questions. Maybe my number changes, your changes. I want to make sure we're always connected. I'm going to add you on Facebook. Boom. Take their phone, find yourself, add yourself on Facebook. Then say, hey, we're going to do a quick little live video. I just want you to talk about your experience, right? And you know, most oftentimes they're super excited. They just got a, you know, car there at the height, you know, the climax of their emotions, right, with the sale. You put them on a video. You just, you know, for a quick 30 seconds, just let them talk. Hey, sir, ma'am, you know, how was your experience? And hold your phone up to them and let them do their thing. What you'll find is, especially when you tag them in that video, is your comment section underneath that video will be overloaded with their friends and family members saying, oh my God, I want to get a car. Oh my God, I want to get a car. Because again, it shows that one, it connects them to you as their car guy, but also shows that, man, so-and-so got a car from them. Shoot, man, you know what? I'm going to want to get a car too. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, here's the one I love. Man, if they got her done, I know they could get me done. You know what I'm saying? Right? And that's what you do. That simple process, guys, I guarantee if you do that consistently, and I know folks want to do photos, do a live video. Notification. Video converts 10 times better.
Yeah, do video and a photo if you want a photo, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, Deric, honestly, because you just said that reminded me exactly where I got that from you. So I've always thought of that, but I remember watching a video of yours a few months back, and I have a team at my dealership called the Dream Team. And these guys, everything I throw at them, they're trying, you know, from video follow-ups to doing video confessionals from their customers. And now that because of this whole situation, what they've done is they're doing welcome videos now. Like, so when they sell them a car, they have a YouTube channel, and they will post and link them to that YouTube channel. They put it on Facebook, and it's a thank you video. Say, hey, I appreciate it. We couldn't meet each other face to face like we normally would, but I wanted to tell you thank you. And then they'll even tell them a little bit about their, like, hey, you know, I loved your, you know, hope your kids are great. You know, hope they enjoy the vehicle too. I mean, they make it very personal, and then they post it like that. But the thing is, the very first thing I told them was they need to do the confessional videos with their customers. And I honestly, it was, you know, I'm sure it was an idea I've heard before, but when I watched your video and the way you talked about it, it's just that simple. I was like, it is that damn simple.
It is. It is.
Do it. Lou and I, as salespeople, we did the photos, and this is before internet. This is before MySpace. This is, you know, I'm going deep, right? So we, you know, Lou actually started it. Lou did this thing. It was a board. It's called like the Wall of Fame, basically. So he would get Polaroid pictures and take a picture of them, write the vehicle, year, make, and put it up on the thing. And as time went by, that wall filled up. Customers would come in, just like this is like social media before social media. Customers would walk in and they would look.
They would post it on my wall,
and they're looking for people that they know. And when they saw somebody they know, you could tell you're selling them a car because they want to be up on the wall too. People, if you would forget to take the picture, which you rarely did, but every once in a while,
call them back. I need you to come back.
No, they would tell you, "Hey, are you gonna take my picture?" You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Let's get the picture."
The people get to, you know what's I think we've lost that as like at least a lot of dealerships I go to, we've lost that ritual. Like, it used to be, when you got a car, they're ringing bells, they're doing confetti, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole deal.
We're still hitting again, it's part of the sometimes the convenience of the what is just the process coming together. You know what I mean? The kid that puts you on the ride his first week or first month or first 90 days at Disney World may act a little different than the person who puts you on the ride 2 years later. You know what I mean? Or, that excitement, that enthusiasm kind of wanes to do the out of the box fun stuff. And so with social media, the thing that we get to do is constantly recreate, be in a different way, do something else. But a customer, because they're all on their phone, they're all on their computer, gets to then see testimonials by literally looking at your wall. Before there was a Facebook or a MySpace.
That was the testimonials back in the day. Before that was Google review right there for you. It was dope. It was so cool that I had to jump on it. He did it for probably almost a year before I started doing it. We became office partners at a different dealership, and then we filled that wall up so dang quick. It was unreal, and it was great. It was such an easy way to have customers get comfortable. They're like, man, these people, they really know what they're doing. They've helped a lot of people.
Success breeds success. Yeah. And it amplified once he got into the office, and then now we're covering up our entire office with all these pictures. It made sure that we stayed committed to sharing who it is that we're helping, rather than just that we're succeeding.
And it's always it's even a reminder for yourself. But the thing is that when we're salespeople and you get an appointment on the phone, I tell this to especially my young guys. I'm like, hey, what's the first thing you do after you get a customer's name and number? Do you look them up on Facebook? And they say yes, almost 100% of the time. So what do you think your customers are doing?
Looking up your stuff too. Yeah.
If you have nothing on there, they may not show for the appointment now. They're probably going to see the other car guy on Facebook. Like, well, I'm going to call that store. So if you have a Facebook page full of just amazing smiling faces, videos saying, I love my experience, they helped me, I everywhere told me no, oh my God. They're going to say, I have to go see these people right now. Just like you said, they're going to say that, hey, if they can help them, they can help me.
Look at all of these testimony videos. Look at all of these thank you videos. Yeah. After the third one, they're saying, I want to be one of those.
And let's say you want to, let's say you want to be a manager. To the guy who asked us about that, or, if you want to be a manager one day and you have a resume, that's your resume now. You go to another store, they're going to look you up on Facebook. They're going to see, oh my God, this guy was a banger. This dude was doing innovative stuff. Man, I need him at my store. I need him. My guys had it just like you did. You know what I mean?
I'll even say this too, guys. When you have that, catalog of people, and more importantly, when you're connected to your customer base on Facebook, which I'm a huge fan of, connecting with all of your customers and potential customers on Facebook, that goes with you. Now, of course, you don't want a salesman to leave, and you can't take the CRM with you. But those customers follow you especially if you got that connection base like that. They're gonna lose your business card. That just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna throw it away. Your Facebook, they are with you. I kind of want to switch gears a little bit back to what we were talking about earlier with Carvana. Benji's been riding with us the whole time, y'all.
Appreciate you, Benji.
I'm not sure how many folks we got watching over there, but he asked a couple of questions about Carvana. This is what kind of summed it all together. Basically, the first one I'll put on the screen. So on to the point, do you think Carvana will get more popular or fall off? Also, what would they need to do to get more popular? The other one he asked is, do you think okay, we just to kind of restating that one. Yeah. And of course, what does Carvana need to do to, kind of take off? I don't know, Ben, do you work for Carvana, brother?
They need some CarGuy coffee is what they need.
That's what they need.
But real talk, great question. I don't think Carvana is going anywhere. I think they're going to be around. They're going to do just like any good company where they're going to change their process probably slightly. They may add the human touch, which is what I've talked about earlier, and I do believe is what's missing in their formula. The real human touch, not just a phone call. They need to have somebody local. They need to have, maybe a location everywhere, so many spots where hot spots like, Nashville, Louisville, whatever, all these different towns, wherever you're at, a place where you can call, and if you have a problem, they'll help you out, and somebody that somebody that you could get to know, somebody on social media, maybe even, you know what I mean? So I think once they add that element to it, I think that it could really do some stuff. But then at that point, it's the same thing as a car dealership that has an awesome process, you know.
Absolutely.
So, but I believe that's what they may end up
Yeah.
doing something similar to that, because I think that's the number one thing, because they got to have somebody maybe who can appraise the trade.
Benji is a Carvana agent.
That's what I was saying, man. I think he works for him, brother. I think he works for him.
Like I said,
background,
Carvana is a great company,
Yeah.
man. I mean, there's a reason why everybody talks about them now. Every car person has brought them up at one point at some other, you know, whether you're having a conversation with your buddy that's another car guy, or you're talking to another person on a podcast, it comes up.
I think they need to be more probably like an Uber, where they have somebody that is vetted properly and is able to pass a particular line of understanding and inside of customer concern that they're going to be able to let people know they can interact with. You know, there's so many things that occur at a dealership after a person purchases, which is why you hire the dealership to do this transaction. You're paying them to take in your trade because you don't want to sell it and deal with the headache of it later on, and all of the work that it takes to get it titled, to put the loan together, to do all those things. You're still hiring the dealership to be the agency that handles that. Well, if Carvana is going to be the agency that continues to put a product in your driveway, great. You still need a steward. Somebody still needs to steward that scenario. You know what I mean? I know when somebody calls with a problem that's going on with one of the cars that were bought, what do? Hey, where's John? Hey, that's Sean's guy. Yeah, that's your steward. That's who you call to handle these concerns. And you needed that 10 appointment. That's who sets that up with you. I put your loan together, and I'm more than glad to bake you another set of cookies. You know what I mean? But he's the one that's going to make sure that your stuff gets processed after the fact and gets you connected to that second key, and so on and so forth. You know, that steward is still, I believe, something that's going to be needed. And
absolutely,
maybe a way that they opened up the door to car guys and car gals to interact on their platform. I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
if all the cars are automated, no one drives anymore. You might Carvana, no need to touch anything. You just get in it and you don't have to drive nothing. You just lay back. Yeah. Maybe at that point. I don't think that's ever going to happen. We all like to race cars. We all like to press the gas button. Yeah, I like to do that kind of stuff. I like going at the red light.
I think in the future, like, when my grandkids are, getting, kind of adults and everything, I think that's kind of what it's going to be, to where we don't even have cars. It's just, you got something that just picks you up, it drives by itself, and we just hop in and do our thing, Yeah. I think I saw a movie like that. It was some type of, it was like a kind of a Terminator type deal where the AI ended up taking over the world or something crazy like that. But that was their main mode of transportation. I mean, it could be. So we've been going for a little while. Well, let me see if he. Okay, so I think we are actually touching on that right here. Benji also asked regarding to the human touch to Tesla's takeoff was great as a company, but their service is supposedly bad. How do you balance efficiency and service?
That's going to take time. They're a new company. I think Tesla has a great product. I've been fortunate to be able to ride in a few of them, and man, they're pretty neat. I think their ideas of what they're trying to do are very innovative. Going to electric vehicles, wow. I mean, they're trying to fix the, what am I trying to say? Not the economy, it's the world's weather. What's that called? Environment, right? That's the word. So, they're trying to fix that, because I know that we had a lot of issues. That's one of the beautiful things that's happened over the last 2 months is that, from what I understand, pollution has gone way down with less people driving. They said the ozone layer healed itself over this time. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy. Wow.
That is bananas, So that type of stuff is awesome. That type of stuff is great. And that's what electric cars can do for you. But also the fact that having an automated vehicle, one day when you can just, like, for me I'm a pretty busy guy, and I like to do stuff, and I always like to do things in my spare time. So let's say that you're a person who drives an hour to and from work. So that's 2-hour round trip. Now, the whole time you're driving, you can't text, you can't do nothing. You could maybe talk to somebody, whatever. Now, if you have an automated, you could just sit back, you could work. You can technically do work on your way to work. You know what I mean?
Make it so much more productive.
For me, I'm a hustler. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm trying to do all this stuff. So to me, it's every minute that I have, I want to be able to do that. I'd rather spend that time touching up my social media, touching up all that stuff while I'm on my ride home on the way to see my wife, instead of doing it when I first get home, see my wife, hey, give me an hour. Let me knock this out really quick, and then I'm going to get with you, And my wife, awesome woman. She understands everything I'm trying to do right now. She is on the same path I'm at. She's totally been like, go for it, But at the same time, I feel like because I'm a balanced guy. I like to balance everything in my life. I want to treat my wife just like I would treat my business. I want to treat my friends, everybody. I want to give them all the love that I possibly can give them. So I'd still try to find that extra time, but she's cool. I come home, she lets me do it. But I would love to just ride and just be like, I can't afford a driver, not like El Patron, but
Y'all just gave me an idea for my next for the next episode, actually talking about that, because in the car business, unfortunately, divorce rates are really high because of the time we spend at the office, and it's just tough.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna actually bring somebody on to kind of discuss that and some things that maybe we can do as an industry. All the folks working these long hours to improve that work-life balance.
I'm
huge.
working on brewing solutions about that right now inside of our store, because we're taking on a different generation that has a different way that they have relationships with their spouses, with their family, with their time, with their money. And so there's a completely different type of approach that we have to start having, and understand that instead of us trying to remold ourselves around the car business, we need to remold our business really around us and how we're successful for us. We have to put the Iron Man suit on us. It doesn't just go on anybody. You know what I mean? It depends on who's in there and who's wearing it, but putting that around us is key. And being able to be superstars, be subprime heroes,
it's tough.
Be the UpBus.
It's tough without a good partner, but
you have to,
it's, some people say it's easy to be single and move on, but I tell you, it's not. I this business, it's been very good to me because I had a great partner the whole time. My wife is, the whole time I've been doing this, she's been there while I was on the road traveling, gone for 2 months at a time. Sometimes she was there. It was tough. It was not easy. Did it take tolls on my relationship at some points? It did. But because we work through it, just like I do with anything in my career, if I make a mistake, I'm gonna fix it, and I'm gonna try to make it better next time and never make that mistake again. I believe in that philosophy. It's okay to make mistakes. It's just keep growing. And now my relationship's stronger than it's ever been because we've put all that work in. Now we're married, been together for 18, 19 years, been married for 15 plus. We have a beautiful son together at 16 years old. So, getting ready to turn 17, it's crazy. And we've grown together, but our relationship, it's just as important to me as being successful in my business. If I'm not having a good relationship with my wife, then my business doesn't matter. It'll probably crumble, because you do have to have balance, no matter what.
And a big thing that balances each other out inside of a spousal setup is the ability for a spouse to humble you.
Amen.
Keep you humble.
They do so quick. My wife will do it real quick. Okay, Mr.
You know what I mean?
Subprime hero.
You're great. That's cool.
Whoa.
I got my wife over here looking at me like, yeah.
And she's right. And she's right. Thank you.
To echo that, and since we got a lady that can throw an amen out there, listen, folks, being humble is not necessarily just thinking low of yourself. I'm no good, or I'm not.
No, that's actually the complete opposite of what humble is. Yeah.
Being humble is thinking of yourself less. I'm considering this other person more than me. My needs are not above theirs. We are on the same field of needing to be able to raise up together and to actually grow and bear fruit together.
No doubt.
So because of that, I put you before me, but because that's also for me. We are one together. And so any relationship that is successful in business, generally you can look at the way that they've positioned themselves in what they've married. Whether they just married a business, then you'll have a great brand, but you won't have a lot of people to share that brand with you. But if you marry the people and the culture and who it is that you're serving, then you're going to be very successful. You're going to have a healthy marriage, and it's going to breed healthy fruit.
And then you'll retire with tons of money if you worked hard, and you're going to love life afterwards. I'm telling you, it's really cool.
Good fruit.
And other women out there that have been married to a car guy for a long time are amazing women. So what I mean by that is, like, when you become friends and you go out, those women all have, it's kind of like being an army wife, they all have an understanding, they all understand what's going on, what we all go through, and they're going through it too. So they all get that same feeling, but they're all strong women because they were there this whole time. They took care of the kids when you couldn't. They made sure that the house was right for you and I'm not saying that's a woman's job. There's, if you're a car gal and you have a car and you have a husband at home, he should do the same thing for you, right? Period. It's one hand shakes the other. Whoever can provide the bread, bring the bread. If you could both provide bread, even better. You know what I mean? So it's I'm not saying that way. I'm not saying male, female. I'm saying car person and person at home. They take care of the person they take care of the house for you because you're at work all the time, and you would love to, I come home, I try to knock out some stuff, but it's already taken care of before I get home. It's like that old video. You ever heard the magic table? I put this cup over here. It's always, by the time I wake up the next day, it's always gone. I put my clothes over here. Next day, it's always gone. I have that. I have the magic table at the house. So I'm lucky.
We got Benji, man, rocking with us the whole time on YouTube. This is my first stream to YouTube. So apparently, I didn't even know I could do that. Actually, I just found it out right before the podcast. I was hoping it didn't like break anything, but it worked well apparently. So
yeah, awesome.
So we've been going for a good minute, guys, and thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I want to bring it to a close on the question I ask everybody. What was the story of your first sale? Because everybody remembers it when you popped your cherry. You know what I'm saying? Tell us this story real quick, guys. Who wants to go first?
Yours came first.
All right. Since mine was before his, about a year before. I remember I finally went through all my training sessions, 48 hours worth or some whatever. And they're like, you want to go catching up? Of course I was going to. Yeah, I'll do that. So this lady comes out, and she was an older woman driving a car that she probably definitely need to get rid of. And I honestly don't remember her name. I hate to say that. But she lived right in the local town still. I know the vehicle though. So she comes in, she's like, I only have $8,000 cash money. And I'm like, okay, it's not bad. It doesn't sound bad. I was new, so that sounded pretty good. I got a car dealer somewhere. So I go into the showroom, and when I walk in the showroom, I literally do not have, there's not a manager. There's maybe a couple salespeople, but nobody at the desk. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm at the tower, like looking, I make a page. Well, the senior salesperson to me was Paul Damos, and he comes walking over. And Paul, if you're watching, you remember this. And I go, hey man, I got this lady out here, $8,000 cash. I know we have this Ford Escape ZX2 up on top, silver 2-door money. I'm sure it's that we can get her done in that. And he was like, oh, maybe. I was like, I just need to know the price. If I could do it, I'm gonna go out here and close her on, $8,000 out the door or whatever. And he was like, all right, let me check. And he checks it and he goes, yeah, you could do it. I go out, I shut the deal, I come back in, everything is good. She brings me her check clears, and Paul's like, I get half your deal.
What?
Wow. So my first deal was a split over, I don't even know what, to this day. Wow. And I remember, and Paul, I work with Paul still, and I love him. He's like a brother to me, but he stole half my deal. And I didn't say nothing, man. I tried. I told the man, and they were like, well, that's just how it goes. Like, how the heck? How's that go like that? I promise you. But I also I learned something. Never ask another salesperson how to find something at a deal on the lot, because they're going to ask for half of it. So I always, because those were old school guys too, so I was like, never. I'd wait. I'd sit there and run around the building, look for a manager. Like, nope, not asking anybody for anything anymore.
That made you better though, too. You know where everything was.
Oh, dude, the floor was so ruthless. That's why I believe I am where I'm at. I mean, everything from a phone pop to a lot pop. You were like elbows and get out my way type stuff. I'm serious. It was ruthless. So Lou, what's up? Tell me about yours.
It's so crazy because we haven't actually. I can't believe we haven't talked about this on our show. We really appreciate you pulling this out.
Man, that's awesome.
There we go.
There's so much crazy correlation to it, and he's gonna understand. And he knows. He was there. He was there for that.
I was his floor manager when he joined.
He was my team leader. It was great to have great car guys around us that also made sure that I learned the ropes the hard way and the right way. But I had it up. It was a captain in the Army, female type. She was there with her husband. They wanted a new Eclipse. She wasn't. She got promoted not too long ago. Has a new command that she's working there at Fort Knox, and I was all excited, pumped up. I'm released. It's that first customer you're able to really go work. And just do the process. I'm working her, get it going. Everything's going good. I have a nice pencil in front of me. We did Foursquare. Counter offers coming. I'm shown, hey, fold it over the paper, do this. Great news. We're going to be with this much down, this much payment. Congratulations. Hey, Lou, you want me to show you how to do that? Yeah, sure. I did the whole deal, had it all. All I had to say was this next thing. Hey, Lou, you want me to show you how to do that? Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Goes over, says, ma'am, real quick, this is the new payment. This is the new down payment initial right there. Boom. That's how you do that, Lou. Said, thanks. I said, thanks, Paul. He said, no problem.
Here we go.
And
he got half the deal a year later. Yeah,
that's right. Hey. That's the ritual, man. Everybody goes through it. Everybody's go through it.
You don't forget it though. You never forget.
Never again.
Hey, but I tell you, it was probably 3-4 years later though. Not to talk about another sale, but 3-4. I'm gonna do it real quick. 3-4 years later, he comes to another store. He left the store he was currently at to come to my store, and I was the man at that point. I was like, bam, 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 bam. You know, he comes in, he tries to shut a deal. He comes out with the pencil, and he's like, I can't shut this. They ain't doing it. So I asked, gladly said, hey, do you mind if I go in?
Give me that.
I go, boom. I go shut that deal, come out, bam, we get half.
Yo,
He probably doesn't lie that story, but it's 100% true. It's 100%. But anyway, how can I forget
That was
that?
a Paul move.
That was like we had this thing called Paul moves, and he's
There's
definitely,
still a thing.
and you know, that was one of them. And I got to do one back to him for once. But anyway, I love you, Paul, man. I'm you know, we're talking shit. This is fun though.
I learned a lot from that.
I did, definitely did.
Well, man, thank y'all so much, man, for coming on the show. Still kind of something new, but I think this is one of the best ones I've done so far, man. Put this up there with the one I did with Patrick O'Brien a couple weeks ago. So make sure to guys check out their other podcasts. I've got the links in the description, their website, their Facebook, as well as their Instagram. Give them some follows, show them some love. Anything y'all want to close on? Any last remarks y'all want to give to the folks out there?
Man, I just, you know, my mantra is always just keep growing. Every day, just focus on, it doesn't have to be massive growth. Just grow every single day a little bit. And I promise you, after a year, you're going to see yourself go a lot, really, really far. I also want to invite you, Deric, to our show soon, man.
Yes.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. We vibe very well. I would love to have you on. Our new series right now is called, that's going to be coming out, is going to be New Connections. And this is a new connection. So we'd love to make this happen and get together with you, man.
Yes.
For sure.
And I want to make sure that the whole world always remembers, no matter what, forgive, focus, fly.
That's
right.
right.
And take that with you, make that be on your heart and on your forefront. I believe the world will be a way better place, and we'll be flying together.
Boom. Hey, the UpBus is the spot, everybody.
Get you some.
Make sure you get you some of this.
Let's get it. Thank y'all for watching out there. Thank y'all for watching out there. Y'all be safe, keep grinding, keep hustling. Remember, y'all, we are in the people business. We just happen to sell cars. This has been your boy Deric Bump said. Thank y'all, Fred. Thank y'all, Lou. Again, and y'all be safe.
You too, my friend. It was nice. Appreciate it.